Use the decide model. Detect the problem. Estimate the need to react. Choose a course of action. Identify solution. Do the necessary actions. Evaluate the effect. What are the 5 hazardous attitudes identified by the FAA? Hazardous attitude, anti-authority, don't tell me what to do. Antidote, follow the rules, they're usually right. Impulsivity, do something quickly. Antidote, not so fast, think first. Invulnerability, it won't happen to me. Antidote, it could happen to me. Macho, I can do it. Antidote, taking chances is foolish. Resignation, what's the use? I'm not helpless, I can make a difference. What is get-there-itis? How can it affect safety? Get-there-itis is the hazardous habit that causes pilots to continue their original plan even when information suggests the plan should be modified or abandoned. It's an unconscious bias that can appear stronger the closer you get to accomplishing the activity. For example, getting back to your home airport despite deteriorating weather conditions. PHAC 2-22. Alright, so always going to be checking the weather before the next moment. What is the impact of stress on a pilot's performance? How can a pilot manage its effect? Stress can impair decision making, reduce concentration, cause fatigue and negativity, impact overall performance. Small amounts of stress have been proven to enable pilots to focus. Major issues may be eliminating non-essential information. Proper planning, training, staying ahead of the aircraft will minimize stress, as well as there will be fewer unexpected circumstances. PHAC 17-12. How does carbon monoxide poisoning occur in an aircraft? What are the symptoms? Carbon monoxide poisoning can occur when exhaust fumes leak into the cabin, often due to a crack in the exhaust manifold, which presents itself using the heater. Symptoms include headache, dizziness, weakness, nausea, confusion, loss of muscular control. However, by the time these symptoms present, the pilot would likely be too cognitively impaired to notice. So it's wise to carry a CO detector and not use the heat source. What is the minimum time a pilot should wait after consuming alcohol before flying? FAA requires at least 8 hours from bottle to throttle and a BAC of 0.04 or less with no symptoms of alcohol impairment. 12 hours bottle to throttle is a policy at many airlines and is recommended for all pilots. PHAC 17-15. How does alcohol consumption affect pilot performance? Alcohol impairs cognitive and motor skills, affects judgment, and can lead to dehydration, hangovers, reducing the pilot's performance. PHAC 17-15. What color are the lights used to mark the edges of a taxiway at night? Taxiway edge lights are blue. PHAC 14-19. What are the right-of-way rules for aircraft in different scenarios? An aircraft in distress has right-of-way over all other traffic. When aircraft of the same category are converging at approximately the same altitude, the aircraft on the right has the right-of-way. If the aircraft are of different categories, refer to the BOGAR list, balloon, glider, I think it's airframe, rotary list. Aircraft on final approach or while landing have the right of way. They shall not take advantage of this rule to force an aircraft off the runway which has already landed. If two aircraft are approaching at the same landing, the lower aircraft has priority but will not take advantage to cut others off. What is the right-of-way priority order? Bogar, balloons, gliders, airship, airplanes, rotorcraft. Airplanes and rotorcraft are the same category. Keep in mind whether an operation is conducted under IFR or VFR, vigilance shall be maintained by each person operating an aircraft so as to see and avoid other aircraft. 14 CFR 91.113. What information is found in the chart supplement? Detailed information about individual airports, including runway lengths, lighting, service available, and communication frequencies. PHAC 16-17. How can a pilot activate pilot-controlled lighting on an uncontrolled airport? By keying the airport microphone or aircraft microphone on the CTAP or other specified frequency 3, 5, or 7 times to adjust lighting intensity. PHAC 16-17. What is the significance of a yellow X on the runway? This indicates that the runway is closed and not available for use. PHAC 14-14. What is the hierarchy that helps pilots manage their workload, maintain the situational awareness before attending to other tasks? Aviate, navigate, communicate is a crucial aviation principle used by pilots to prioritize their actions during flight. Aviate, maintain control of the aircraft. Then navigate, determine your current position, your plan route, and plan your route. Communicate, establish and maintain communication with air traffic control. Inform ATC of your situation, intentions, and any assistance required. Relay important information to passengers and crew as necessary. PHAC 2-21. What are the effects of scuba diving? What are the effect of scuba diving can have on a passenger? What effects can scuba diving have on a passenger and crew of an aircraft? Flying after scuba diving can result in decompression sickness. For flights at or below 8,000 MSL, wait at least 12 hours if the dive did not require controlled ascent. If a controlled ascent was required, wait for at least 24 hours. If flying over 8,000 feet MSL, you must wait 24 hours. What is the difference between chronic and acute fatigue? Acute short-term fatigue from a single task or day activity, usually relieved by rest. Chronic long-term fatigue from sustained stress or lack of rest requires extended recovery. What are the 5 P's of ADM? Plan, plane, pilot, passenger, programming. PHAC 2-13. What is aeronautical decision making? ADM. A systematic approach to making safe decisions in aviation considering all available information. What is the PAVE checklist? PAVE checklist is a risk management tool used by pilots to ensure thorough pre-flight evaluation. Pilot, P is for pilot, assess the pilot's physical and mental conditions, proficiency, and recent experience. The I am safe checklist, logbook, and medical. Aircraft, check the aircraft's airworthiness, performance, and equipment, testing, etc. Environment, evaluate weather conditions, terrain, airport, and other external factors. External pressures, consider any external factors such as time constraints, passengers, and mission requirements that may influence your decision making. How do you handle an in-flight electrical or alternator failure? Shed non-essential electrical loads, use standby battery if available, and land as soon as practical. Consult the POH for specific operations of your aircraft. PHAC 7-31, because we have magnetos, so if the electrical goes out, just minimize electrical workload and do the best you can. Not get to the ground as fast as possible emergency. What steps should be taken immediately if an engine fire occurs while in flight? Shut off the fuel supply, close the throttle, turn off the ignition, enter a steep descent at a high speed to extinguish the flames. Refer to your POH for your aircraft's specifics. AFA 18-9. How would you handle a partial power loss in flight? Maintain control, establish best glide speed, identify or troubleshoot the problem using a checklist, plan for a possible forced landing. Airman Flying Handbook 18-7. What are the emergency squawk codes? 7500 hijack, 7600 no comms, 7700 emergency. Yep. We're going to write that down. What is the ABCDE procedure for handling an engine failure? A, airspeed. Maintain a good airspeed. Best glide. B, best place to land. C, checklist. D, declare the emergency. Squawk 7700. And E, egress. Write those down. What is the first action you should take if you experience an engine failure immediately after takeoff? Lower the nose to prevent a stall, pitch for a best glide speed, and land straight ahead. What is CFIT? Controlled flight into terrain. When a pilot unintentionally flies into obstructions such as ground or mountain, usually due to spatial disorientation or lack of situational awareness. PHAC 2-4. What is the procedure for a rejected takeoff? Throttle to idle. Apply brakes as necessary. Maintain directional control. Stop safely on remaining runway. What is the definition of an aircraft accident? An aircraft accident means an occurrence associated with the operation of an aircraft which takes place between the time any person boards the aircraft with the intention of flight and all such persons have disembarked, in which any person suffers death or serious injury, or in which the aircraft receives substantial damage. 49 CFR 830.2. How would you manage an inadvertent encounter with IMC instrument meteorological conditions? Fly on and trust your instruments. If you have an autopilot and proficient engaging it, execute a shallow 180 level turn to exit the clouds. Using attitude indicator as your primary reference. If still in IMC, contact ATC for help finding a way out. How do you handle a flap failure in flight? Fly a no-flap approach and landing. Maintain a higher approach speed to compensate for a lack of flaps. Consider a runway length and choose longer runway if necessary. PHAC 9-4. How should you respond to oil pressure loss? Monitor oil pressure and temp and reduce power. If the oil temp is rising and engine failure is imminent, make a precautionary landing at the nearest airport or suitable off-airport landing site ASAP. prt9-4. What should you do if you become lost during a cross-country flight? Use the 5 C's. Confess, admit you're lost, climb to improve radio and navigational signal reception, conserve fuel, communicate with ATC, comply by following their instructions. PHAC 16-34. How would you respond to engine roughness or power loss? Check carb heat, fuel mixture, fuel selector, magnetos, and engine gauges. If the problem persists, prepare for emergency landing at the nearest airport, suitable fields. PHAC 9-4. An aircraft incident or accident. After an aircraft incident or accident, when would notification to the NTSB be required? You must report any aircraft accident or any of the listed serious incidents in NTSB Part 830. The operator of the aircraft shall file a report with the NTSB field office. NTSB field office. Doesn't really say how long. I believe it's 30 days, but let's just do it in 24 hours.